the meringue is really slimy. Okay? So that's something to observe. Now, if it's got a nice bright color in there, if it doesn't, fall off the whisk, that's a good sign. Okay? Ideally, if you turn the bowl over, it shouldn't fall. Right? Please. So if I do that. Okay, that's a test. So if it's running, it just means you've not whipped your meringue enough. But once you've stopped your meringue, if you then try to whip it back up, you will notice it won't do much. So you would then have to add some lemon juice or vinegar, some form of an acid needs to be added in there so you can get the volume back up. Okay? So if that doesn't work, but for the most part, everything I've seen looks good. So I keep it simple. Okay. So once your meringue is done, just set yourself up. So you've got your parchment paper. Make sure you spray the bottom. I'm just gonna grab a plain tip in there, and that's all my meringue. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do about 2 lines, so 12 white tops, and then I'm going to do about 12 the bottoms. Keep them white. I'll then probably add some red color in them. So we'll do some, because it's Christmassy, maybe some red and white mushrooms, just to keep that festive theme going. So we'll try that one out. Okay. Perfect. So when you are piping, this, you want to keep about a finger's space between your piping bag, your tip, and the parchment paper. Okay? You're going to go in the center and you're going to squeeze. When you reach the outside of the parchment paper, stop squeezing and just turn. What you don't want to do is if you go too low, right, you're going to notice something like that happening. You see how it's kind of, just gone on the side. Mushrooms don't look like that. Unless they are like weird mushrooms. So that's what you ideally want to go for. So go in the center, keep piping. Once you reach that stop, and twist. You want to try not to have that peak. Okay? Pull out, in, down. Oops, sorry. Okay. Now, those are the tops. For the bottoms, you're going to do similar, but you're just going to keep piping and you're just going to pull it up that way. So, starting off from the center, make a nice firm base, and then you just pull it up. Okay, so 12 white tops with 24 white bottoms, because all of them are going to still have the white bottom irrespective of the top. Okay, now once you get that done, I'm just going to take that. So I like in it. Red. Thank you. Stick it in. then let's do some dots. Get 9, whatever you get, right? It doesn't matter, doesn't. If you don't get 12, that's okay. I think that's all I'm doing. Okay. Now, one last step. How we are doing paper cones? We did? Everyone's okay? That's good to know. My style's a little different, awkward, but you want to do what works best for you. If you're struggling, I can show you a few different ways. Maybe those might help. I'll take some white in there. Awesome. And then I'm just going to go make some dots in there. Okay, gonna do one more and then I'll finish the rest later. So we can just do some white dots. Now, for these ones, to give them a little more rustic appearance, it's going to use some cocoa powder. Take a little sip and it's just going to, so it's going to look like mud. Oh, that's it. Thank you. Right on these guys. Those ones I'm going to leave them because they get this thing. Okay, so I'm going to finish that. Once yours is done, make sure you put your name on it, and then wherever you want to slide it. What I would suggest, we've got 4 ovens, about 1, 2, 3, and then these 2 tables together, 4. So maybe that table over there, you can take the top one, second, take the second, the table there, you take the third, and on this and these 2 tables, take the bottom one, just so you know where it is. Okay. So we're just going to let it be in there at about 90 degrees, leave it overnight. I will turn it off before I leave today. I leave at about 6:30, so that's when I'll turn it off. And then the little heat that there is, it's going to help dry it out. The idea is we don't want any color on there. We don't want this browning. We just want it to dry so that we can take them off and tomorrow we can assemble. Okay, so that's the goal with that. Okay, first.
Can you just let it outdoor and just cover it so dry?
It is.
Is it?
Yeah. But in
No,
winter,
it's-
it gets pretty humid sometimes, and like it might be too much moisture. You could leave it out, but what I think outside it might take 2, maybe 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time.
Just
Yeah,
all
it
the
just in
time.
the oven it goes a little bit faster. So I would suggest, yeah. I mean, if you if you're doing cakes at home and this is something you want to stock for yourself, you can do them, leave them outside, no problem. The reason why there is so much sugar in that is for that reason, because if you looked at it, we did cook it partially on the water bath, but having the extra sugar is going to make sure it dries out really well. And when you eat it, it'll be nice and crispy. Okay, folks?
Yes, chef.
Okay, so that's pretty much the end, the last thing for today. So then